Hello everyone, it's Kari back again with my Halloween card series. Today I have something fun to share with some mixed media effects, and these are some brand new products from Whimsy Stamps. This here is the Pumpkin and Mini Jacks die set. It's super cute and awesome because it's got this big pumpkin outline and then a lot of little pumpkin faces on the inside. And these are all hooked together so you'll cut them out all at once. And they're so cute. Look at these. And then the other thing on the left there, I have the new Harlequin Stencil. So I thought that would be really fun for some mixed media techniques, and we're going to do that today. So I hope you'll stick around. First, I have cut out all those mini jacks from that die, and there are a couple ways you can fill in the mouths and eyes. One of the ways is to keep all the little bits that cut out and color them with black or yellow and piece them back in. That does take quite some time. So there's another option that I'm going to show you in just a minute. But I got distracted by the Harlequin stencil. I love this stencil. There are 3 different designs in it. One is this one here, which is the kind of distressed, I would say the distressed side of the Harlequin. And then there's a smaller one in the center, and then one that's the full Harlequin diamond shape on the left. So you have 3 different Harlequin designs to use. And I thought using that one on the pumpkin would be really, really cute. So I inked it on using some orange distress ink. And now I'm going to go around the sides and also ink up that stem. I'm using kind of a darker green for this. I think that's the forest moss, and then I'm going to go ahead and ink around the outside with a darker orange. So I'm using the crackling campfire. I'm just going to ink around the edges, and I think that what this does is it really gives it more of a rounded look and also defines it a little bit better. Now here's the other way you can use to color in the background of each of the pumpkins. Just take a strip of paper, either yellow or black or whatever color you want, and glue that little pumpkin right over the top of that colored strip. Now that's going to give the eyes and the mouth that color, and then all you do is just cut around a little bit here, just like so you don't see that peeking around the edges, and you've got that filled in. Just so easy. Now I'm also going to ink around the edges of each of these mini pumpkins or mini jack-o'-lanterns using a detail brush and that dark orange crackling campfire. This will really make a difference. It's hard to tell in the video, but it really does make them pop out and look a little more dimensional, and I think that really helps with the card. So look how cute the large pumpkin is with all these little small jack-o'-lanterns. This is a really great versatile die set, and it's a smaller die too, so it's a really great price point, and I just love it. Now this is the brand new stamp set from Whimsy. It's called Wicked Cute, and there's a little witch in there and a little devil and a little cat, and I'm going to use most of these today to make some cards. First I'm going to go ahead and stamp that Trick or Treat sentiment with VersaFine Onyx Black ink over that pumpkin, and I will heat emboss that with some clear embossing powder. So I do stamp it quite a few times to get a nice dark black, and then I will do that heat embossing. Now, I know this is a little longer of a video. I end up not making one of the cards on screen because of that. And so the one with the little devil, I will show you the card at the end, but I didn't make that on screen. But there are so many things you can do with all these products, so that's why I was really excited. And I love the Halloween releases from Whimsy, and so I was really, really happy to be able to share this one today. So there it is, all heat embossed, and I'm going to set it up kind of like this. I'm using that Batty die that I used last week in a card, and I'm just going to make the background for this. The background needed a little more excitement. So I'm using Villainous Potion Distress Oxide on a purple background, and then I'm going to bring in some blue in some Chipped Sapphire Distress Oxide, And that is going to make it more of a purpley blue background, and it's going to darken it up just a little bit, make it feel a little more like Halloween. And I'll just go back and forth with these colors until I get a really nice smooth blend, but I will leave a portion of that light purple cardstock. I'm going to arrange the elements on that purple background, but I'm not going to attach everything down just yet because I want to add some of the mixed media elements that we've got for this card. I just wanted to lay this out to just kind of see where things were going to fall, and that would help me to be able to place that stencil and add some paste. Now I did die cut multiples of this little witch and also the little cat, and that's going to give them more of a substantial feeling, like a chipboard decoration. And then I'm going to take this Harlequin stencil and add some of the mixed media. So I have here some paper glaze. This is from Picket Fence Studios and it's called Black Pansy. And the reason I'm using this, I really love this stuff because I have had this for 3 years, probably just a little over 3 years, and it still hasn't dried out at me. I don't put any extra saran wrap or anything over this paste, and it still remains easy to use, and that's why I really like it. And I've had some where I've had more of a problem because in Arizona it's really dry, but this one has given me such good luck, and so I really like it. So I'm going to add just a few little spots with that Harlequin stencil using the center section. So it's kind of like the weird kind of squished diamonds. And I'm going to just kind of place things and see how that looks. And I know I want to add a little more to the top center between where the bats are going to be flying. So I'm going to add just a little bit more right there. And I'm being very careful how I put this down so as not to squish the other mixed media that I've already done on the edges. I'm just going to add a little bit right here. And this is really fun to do, and I'm going to set that aside to dry fully before I finish out the card. And you're going to see that I add a few more things to this card background before I put it all together, and I'll show you that at the very end. It turned out really cool, and I'm really glad that I went for it because sometimes mixed media can be a little intimidating, but really it's quite fun and it adds such a texture dimension to cards. For the other 3 cards that I'm sharing today, I'm doing the same thing where I'm starting with a light cardstock and then I'm inking around the edges of the cardstock with some darker color of that shade. So for this one, I'm using Distress Oxide. This is peeled paint, and I want to leave a center portion that's kind of lighter. I also do the same thing with the purple, which is similar to what I did before, only going around all of the edges, and then also with the blue. Same thing. So I'm making 3 identical backgrounds like this, just in different colors. And then what I'm going to do is use that pumpkin die as the center. But first, I'm going to add the Harlequin stencil. For this first green one, I added a round mask stencil. You can cut this out of masking paper. If you have a circle die, you can cut that out. This is going to protect the center portion of this paper. And for this one, I'm just inking that black on. Now you will see that this is not going to cover the entire full panel, but that's okay because you can easily stretch it out by lining up those diamonds once again on the other side and continuing on with that stencil. So super easy to do, and you'll see that we have a full panel now, and all I have to do is remove that mask stencil in the center. I'm going to use my tweezers to do this. There we go. And now we're ready to build the card. So this is super cute. I wanted to use that moon. I love that moon, by the way. That's from another die set from Whimsy called Elvira Moonlighting die. So I'm using the moon from there and then a spider from their Spiders and Webs die and then the Happy Halloween die. So that's going to put that together, but wait till you see what I do to that pumpkin. I'm going to add a face to that too. Now for the purple one, I wanted to use some of this distressed texture paste, and this is the Grave color. So it's like a light gray, and I'm going to use this over the purple background. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the one in the center, and I'm just going to mirror image it on both sides of the card using the Grave. And one thing I found with the Grave Distress Texture Paste is that it does pick up a little bit of that color behind it. So this is going to turn out to be kind of a cool purpley gray color of mixed media. And I love the way it turned out. So it's not entirely gray. It's got a little of that purple shining through. It's really kind of cool. Now you'll see I'm holding the stencil up a little bit on the left so I don't smush what I've already done. That way I can add this bit on the right, and then we're going to have a little piece in the center that is not covered, but I think it looks really cool. So I'm going to I'll remove that mask, and I'm going to go wash everything first. I am going to use my finger along the edges to make sure there's no rough edges, and we'll set that aside to dry while I wash all of the utensils, the stencil, and the mask. And then that one's going to be ready soon to build a card. For the blue one, I decided to go with the Distress Texture Paste in the Crackle. And this is such a cool effect for a Halloween card. It gives you that crackly look on the background. So it's kind of creepy. It really feels like Halloween, like a Halloween look. And I just love how this one turned out. And for this one, I'm just using it on the top portion of the cardstock. And then again, I'm going to set that aside to dry and wash all of the utensils and the stencils. And now we can put all of our cards together. So for the purple card, I wanted to use a white pumpkin, but I'm inking around the edges in some antique linen. And then I used Chills and Shivers die from the Chills Word die set from Whimsy Stamps. And that's going to go right over the pumpkin. And I love the font on this. I think it really feels like a Halloween font, kind of spooky, creepy, but so pretty. And we're going to add a spider web to the top and that giant spider to the bottom, which, by the way, that spider looks so real. I knew when I saw it that I had to have it because it's just that creepy. And I have some terrible spider stories. Both my dad and my husband have been bit by a brown recluse spider here, and they both had to go in for surgery so that they wouldn't lose a limb. In my husband's case, he was bit right on the chest, and they had to go dig out a portion. Now, I'm not going to give you all the gory details. It's a good Halloween story, but it's one I would rather forget. So when I saw this spider, I just thought I probably need that in my stash. And it looks really great on this Halloween card. So I'm going to glue everything together right here. And then I will add that spider just using some liquid adhesive, using this really thin tip. And it worked pretty well for this spider. Now I'm going to cut off all the excess of that spider web around the edges. So I'll just turn it over, cut that off, and then I will cut down this whole entire panel because I decided I wanted a frame around the edge for this card. And I couldn't decide if I wanted a black frame or a white frame. So I'm going to show you both and you can vote. But spoiler alert, I ended up using the white frame because it brought out that pumpkin. And that pumpkin really looks a little eerie, doesn't it? So there's the white frame. Just going to test that out right there. And then here's the black frame, which I think also looks really good. It just depends on the look you're going for. But today I decided to use the white frame, and I ended up using a white frame on all three of these Harlequin stencil cards. So there's our first purple card with that beautiful Grave Distress Texture Paste in the background. Now look at this one that I cut out. I used, see there's the crackle. Look at that crackle, it's so pretty. I used some of the new BOOkeh papers, and it's so pretty on that pumpkin die. And I actually wanted to use another spider on this one, and that goosebumps, it's so cute. So this one was very simple to put together. Again, cutting a border for that white frame around the edges, and then adding that spider to the top of the pumpkin. So this one came together really relatively quickly. Now this is what I was talking about. See this stencil? This is so cute. It is the Halloween expression stencil. You can add some different facial expressions to your pumpkins. Most of them fit on this pumpkin die, this brand new pumpkin die. And so I just love this one here. It's so happy. And so I ended up using some black ink for that. And I'm going to go ahead and put this together with all of these elements here. I cut out the Happy Halloween with some light green cardstock and black so I could make a little black shadow behind it. And then it really pops that die up, the Happy Halloween. So let's take a look at all of our cards today. Here is the green Harlequin with the black diamonds in the background. Then we've got our blue card with the crackle paste here, using that paper pack that I love so much. Here's the purple one with that grave distress texture paste. See how it turned a little bit purpley? So it's gray, but it's got the purple showing through. Then here is the cute witch. I ended up stamping some of the stars and the dots with some silver ink in the background after that paper glaze had dried. So you can see there's some stars and dots in kind of a lighter silver. And that was really fun. And then I went ahead and finished putting that card together off screen. But look how cute she is with all those little jack-o'-lanterns, and look at the little cat holding a jack-o'-lantern. I just love how it turned out. And then I just have one more card to share with you. I've put the photo in right here. I used the little devil with another die, the Slimline Hill House die. And you can see that Harlequin stencil in the background for the path and the grass and the sky. A really fun way to use that stencil again. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. I hope to see you again real soon. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing. I'll be back with more Halloween cards to share real soon. Bye-bye.